Okay, YouTube. Hi, it's your girl Chris again, coming at you with another video. I believe that my first video ended impromptly, um, but I'm not going to go over what I already went over before. I do want to go over some environmental issues, my chemotherapy, and how that worked out for me. Um, Basically, environmentally, I was a victim, I would say, of 9/11. I was there on September 11th when the two planes hit the towers and they collapsed. Um, that was a very traumatic time for me. Just going through, really thinking we were going to die because, we never thought the towers would collapse. And they did. And leaving there, everything was covered with dust. We were covered with dust. We went through Hoboken where they triaged us. They gave us big bags to put all our stuff in. They sent us through showers, and that's still a hard part of my life. Going back into the city, going by ferry, and coming in at the Water Street Ferry, and just when you pass by and you just see the smoldering um, ash. That was the towers that they call now Ground Zero. Um, it was hard. We would go through and you would hear chatter, chatter, chatter. And then as we hit that Ground Zero area, right across from it on the ship, all you could hear was silence. I mean, nobody spoke, because, I don't know if it was tribute or shock or just PTSD settling in for those of us that went through it. But I mean, there was absolute pin drop silence. Um, I worked on Wall Street from 1999 to 2016 about, and they believe that environmentally, the governor came out, not the governor, our old governor, and I'm in New Jersey, so our old governor, Whitman, which was in charge of EPA at the time, came out and said everything is fine, the air is great, da da da, and then we find out later, the 4,000 people that were killed in 9/11, including the Pentagon, the Trade Center, and the plane. Um, I think we're going to exceed that greatly with the number of people that have been um, victims of the environmental issues down at the World Trade Center. That's all I really have to say about that. I do want to start to talk about my chemo. I have a group of doctors, four of them, who one is my oncologist. Well, my primary care doctor I have. One is my oncologist. One was my breast surgeon who removed my breast. By the way, I had a double mastectomy. I was a little scared that the left side would move over to the right side and have to go through this again. So I chose to have a double mastectomy at the time. I do have a reconstructive surgery, a plastic surgeon, and then I have my radiation doctor. And then I don't want to forget Dr. Koch, who was instrumental. She was the one who did my breast exam. Uh, what is the word I'm looking for? Not workup, but she read the results of my breast exam, and I met with her twice. I went through two um, scans with her, and I met with her twice about the scans, and it was pretty conclusive that I stage 3 breast cancer. Um, I was upped to stage 3. That's something I will talk about in later tapes. What I did want to talk to you about the chemo. What I did state in my first video is that the chemo um, had little side effects on me. Um, the problem that I had was my taste buds. I lost the ability to really taste food like I used to. I'm a huge fan of cooking. I love to cook, and I just couldn't cook while I was on the breast cancer treatment because I couldn't taste food. Now, generally, what they'll do is they'll put you through radiation and then they'll put you through chemo. They did it in reverse for me. because they wanted to do an aggressive type treatment. So they put me on chemo first. I was taking AC over Toxel was the drug that they were giving me during chemotherapy. Um, I went once a week, and I got some advice from another lady who had cancer at the time, and she told me what helps her um, with the sickness is that during the cancer treatment, she would take a cup of Slurpee. She would go to 7-Eleven and buy a Slurpee and drink the Slurpee and chew on the ice. So I did that a few times, and then I just didn't have time to go to 7-Eleven. So I just let it go, you know, because I didn't feel sick. And the first time I forgot my cup of ice, I didn't feel sick. So I stopped doing that. But that may help somebody else. Um, and if it does, I'm happy about that. Um, what else did I want to say? Um, when I showed up for chemotherapy, they gave me an IV. Before I started chemotherapy, um, I went on the 9th of October. I believe it was the 9th, or maybe it was before maybe it was the 7th. I went and got a port, which I still have. And the port they use to administer the chemotherapy, I got a double port. So they could do it on either side, or they do it on one side the first time. It's right here in my chest, the port. They do it on one side sometimes one week, and they do it on the other side the other week, and it keeps you from getting an IV. It's like an IV, but it's in my chest, and they would hook me up the IVs, and I would take the IV for a certain amount of time. Then they would bring the drug in, which was AC. I did AC, I think, for 12 weeks, and then I did the Toxel for the rest of the time. Um, I think it amounted to 12, 2 months, 3 months, because I did the AC for 12, and then the rest of the time, 12 weeks, and then the rest of the time I did the Toxel. So I'm not going to try to do math here and do my calculator, but I think it was 2 or 3 months. Um, and that was every week. I would get the IV through my port. Um, Again, I didn't um, have any side effects from that except my taste buds dulled, and even my mouth was sore, and I had to take a mouthwash that helped with the soreness in my mouth, but the taste buds were gone for quite a while. When I started the chemo, probably about 3 or 4 weeks in, I started to see hair loss. Um, I wish I had a picture of me bald, but I shaved my head bald, and I don't think I have a picture of me bald. I'm kind of looking for it while I'm talking to you guys, but I don't think I had a picture where I was bald. Um, but I'm gonna look for one. Um, and like I said earlier, I think I said this in my first tape, that it was very traumatic for me losing my hair. Um, I think that might be a situation for most women. Um, hair is our glory, or whatever they say. And, losing my hair was not great. Oh, that's a picture of me. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a picture of me without my hair and my other glasses. I'm a glasses person, so you'll see me with different glasses. But that's a picture of me smiling without without my full head of hair. Actually, my nephew shaved it down for me because I didn't want to go to the barber shop. I was thinking about doing a video because my friend was doing a video in the barber shop, and it's like one of those barbershop videos where the guys talk frankly and the ladies talk frankly, and she was doing that kind of video, and I wanted to be in that video. I was thinking about it, but the closer it got to me actually losing my hair, the harder it